folks, that's 6 measures down of 34. David Stewart here with an instrument you might not have seen me with before. This is an instrument I don't know how to play yet. It's called a Baroque lute. It's a massive 24-string, 13-course affair that went out of favor or popularity, I suppose, maybe 1750, 1760. But it's an instrument I dearly love, and I've always loved the repertoire for it, and I decided I'm going to do it. I'm going to be a lute player. And, that's a big change. And I felt like this video was a great opportunity not only to tell you about what I might be doing creatively, what I might be doing musically now and in the future, but also to talk about a really, really important thing you need to know, not only as a creative person, but as a person who wants to have success in life, a person who has goals, a person who is trying to complete projects especially, and that is trusting your process. Finding a process that you think will work and you know will work, and trusting that process to deliver you the goods, to deliver that final outcome that you want to do, that final accomplishment, the product, the book that you finished writing, the piece of music that you finished learning, your a set list on your instrument or with the band, the novel, the graphic novel you're trying to write, the great painting you're trying to create, or accomplishing a goal like saving for a house, saving for a car, learning how to build something that you don't know how to build yet. All of those goals involve a process, and understanding that that's a process is what's going to really help you achieve that goal, and learning to love the process that you are in is also going to help you get to that goal. So when I talk about processes, what I really mean is that things occur in steps. Any sort of big project that you have occurs in steps. So if you're learning a piece of music, like I said, I learned 6 measures of this. This is a Bach Prelude in C minor for lute. Quite a cool piece. I'm going to start with this piece. I'm going to learn this piece on the lute. So I'm 6 measures in, and I actually know more than 6 measures, but they would just sound really bad right now. And the 6 measures that I am good at don't even sound that good yet, but we'll get there. And I'm going to apply the same process to practicing that I have learned through 20 years of experience with guitar. That is, I know how to break down the music. I know how to find the right fingerings. I know how to put it all together. I know how to practice for expression, dynamics, and all those sorts of things. And I know how to practice difficult passages. I know how to slow down and how to speed it up once you've figured it out. All those lessons that I learned about the process through 20 years of playing guitar, I'm just going to apply to this instrument. And I have no doubt I'll be able to play this piece before too long. And I have no doubt I'll be able to play a larger selection of repertoire for the piece sort of further down the road. As long as I keep applying the process, I know that it's going to keep delivering me the results I want, which is to be a lute player. That's something that I want to do. And same process goes into writing a novel. So if you're writing a novel, sit down at your computer and try to write every day. So the big tip that I would give for figuring out a process, and the process for achieving your goals is really up to you to not only figure out, but also to really stick to. So with music, I say practice every day. Practice with those goals in mind of something that you actually want to learn to play. But the first big tip is do whatever you can every single day to accomplish whatever goal you are. If you're writing a novel, try to sit down every day. Come up with a word goal, 1,000 words, or say, I'm going to write for 1 hour without distractions, or if that's too much, say I'm going to write for 30 minutes without distractions, and I'm going to see where I can go from there. And if you trust yourself to write 1,000 words a day, I really like starting with a word goal. If you're a beginning writer, I say start with 1,000 words a day if you can get to it. And at the end of 100 days, you have a 100,000 word manuscript. That's a rather long book. That's significant. You've written a book at the end of 100 days. That means there's 365 days a year. You could write 3 books a year. That's amazing output when you think about it. And so if you trust that process to deliver you 1,000 words a day, you know that at the end of that entire time, you're going to have what you want, which is a manuscript that you can then edit and publish and do whatever you want with. Likewise, when you're practicing, you practice every day, and eventually you're going to get the set list that's out. But it goes beyond music. It goes to anything else. Like if you want to be a bodybuilder, what do you got to do to be a bodybuilder? Well, you got to go to the gym every day, and you got to lift weights, and you got to have the right nutrition and whatever else you're going to do to do that. And you know that you can't go to the gym for a week and look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or somebody who's natural even, right? So you can't go to the gym for 1 week and accomplish your goal. You have to go to the gym every day for weeks and weeks and months and months and years, and then at the end of however many years you've spent at the gym, then you're going to have the body that you really want. And I know that from my own fitness experience, although I'm quite pudgy now. I trusted that process. I went to the gym every day. I did my cardio, did my weights, and then within like a year, really, my body all of a sudden was really good. But it's being able to say, like, I'm going to do this for a year and I'm going to see what happens, and being able to commit to something for a really long time. That's the way that you're really going to get through the process. And a lot of times, I know writers and I know musicians, we struggle with the process sometimes. Sometimes you pick up the instrument and you're just not super passionate about playing that instrument in that moment, in that day. But if you go back to the end goal and knowing that you're in the process that's going to deliver you that end goal, then that process can still be a lot of fun, because even though it's hard work, you're accomplishing your goals, and that feels really good. So you can break it down to that micro level. I'm doing this every day to accomplish my big goal, and that feels good. You're getting that little bit of satisfaction that is going to build up to the really big satisfaction of accomplishing your goal. If you're trying to save for something that's really important, put away, just say, I'm going to save $5 a day. I'm going to take $5 a day out and I'm going to put it in a jar. That seems like a weird way to save, but it's really, really effective, because you see the money accumulating, and that reinforces you. You're like, okay, I'm $5 closer to my goal every day. It's like if you want to save up for a PlayStation or something. Like, let's say you're a kid, you're like, man, I want to save up for a PlayStation. You save your $5 a day. At the end of 100 days, you have $500. You can buy what you need to. And that's something that a lot of people lose sight of in sort of this day-to-day grind, where you go to work and then tasks are assigned to you and you do those tasks, and then you clock out and you go home, and you haven't really seen what the process you're part of. And so being able to go home and do something that is going to lead to something else, that's really how you're going to accomplish the goals. And like I said before, you can't be afraid of failure, but you can't be afraid of hard work either. And if you love the process, I promise you it's going to deliver those goals. Another tip I will give about finding a process that works, or accomplishing your goals, is make sure that whatever you're doing with the process, that's leading towards what you actually want to do. A lot of times with musicians, this is really, really the case with musicians more than almost anything, but writers do this too, is they're working on something that they don't care about, hoping that it will build them skills to work on something they do care about later on. I do not believe in that approach. After 20 years of doing this music business thing, after teaching hundreds of students, if not thousands, I've lost count of how many people that I've taught to play guitar and other instruments, bass and clarinet and tuba and all kinds of other crap. I've lost count of them. But one thing is sure, is that if I put them in front of music that they can't play but they're excited to play, they're going to work so much harder, and they're going to have so much more fun sucking at something that they want to be good at, rather than being good at something that they don't care about. Like, it's just a truth of music, and it's a hard one to learn, because it's like, man, you need to do this exercise so you can build the skill to do this other thing. But the sooner you can get a student going, and the sooner you can get yourself going on something that you really want to learn, the faster you're going to end up picking it up, because every time you come in and you're just a tiny bit better at what you're trying to do, you're closer to your goal. Likewise, if you're a writer, a lot of times writers have this idea that they're going to write a bunch of short stories, and that's going to build up their skill for writing novels, and then nothing really happens of it. They lose the passion, they stop doing it, because they're not working on their book. They're not working on the thing that they really want to do. Most people who are fiction writers, they write novels, and they read novels, and so they want to write novels, and they feel like they don't have the skill to write a novel because it's a big goal. But if you trust the process, then you're going to be able to do it. So I recommend, if you're a new writer, start working on that big project, because it's better to have a bad manuscript at the end of 100 days than to have no manuscript and have quit the passion because you're just not excited about writing short stories. So don't fall into the trap of doing stuff that you don't like. That's why I'm starting with Bach. I'm starting with a piece that I actually want to learn. No, it's not the easiest piece for lute, right? There are student pieces I guess I could learn from the Baroque period that work. However, I wanted to start with something that I really loved, which for me is going to be Bach's music. It's something that I don't feel like fits on guitar, and as soon as I started playing it on the lute, I'm like, this feels right. It sounds right and looks right and feels right on the lute, and I can't wait. I can't wait to get to it and figure out this piece. Maybe you can hear my kid crying in the background. It's time to put him to bed, which means it's time for me to stop playing Loot and talking to you guys and do the other process, which is raising a child, because that's a process too. You guys have a great one. I'll see you later. Please let me know what you want to see and what you want to hear. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, although I'll make a video soon about why subscriptions may not matter as much anymore. But please do, if you want to support my channel, please consider buying one of my books. That's one of my passions, and I love sharing it with you guys. Prophet of the God Seed just came out. It's 99 cents. That's a really good deal for me, and I really want to share that book with you, so please pick it up. Please show me some love. Please let me know what you think of it as well. And whatever you want to see in terms of videos, please let me know down below, and I'm happy to deliver. You guys have a great day.